is Wiggum from Reddit Omega, bringing you a recap of war number 207, which henceforth will be known as the greatest war we ever lost. So we were randomly paired against Rising Honor, and for those of you who don't know, Rising Honor is associated with the Black Lodge, and essentially they are one of the best war clans in the world. At 217 wins, that's quite an impressive total, and in most rankings, the Black Lodge and Rising Honor would probably both be top 20 war clans in the world, so we didn't know that going into this war. We saw we were paired against them and saw it was going to be very tough, but all in all, considering the performance of both teams, I feel very good about this war, and so good, in fact, that I'm going to show you pretty much every attack on every one of their bases. Now, I should qualify my remarks, first of all, by telling you that Reddit Omega is part of the Reddit War Clan system, and as such is 100% devoted to fair play. That means if we have any suspicion of one of our members modding, it is insta-boot. There are two things in Reddit Omega that can get you instantly booted. One of them is modding, the other one is racial slurs. Two things we absolutely do not tolerate. However, not all clans are that way. Rising Honor, the Black Lodge, many other clans are not known for fair play, and so anytime you can get a fair play clan go up against a not fair play clan and do this well, almost tie, almost perhaps win, it's quite impressive. So you'll see we left a couple of stars on their Town Hall 8s, and all the Town Hall 9s were cleared. On our side, they got 2 more Town Hall 10 triples than we did, essentially clearing all of our bases. So let's go into the attacks, take them in order. You're going to see some pretty cool stuff, including some new Grand Warden usage, actually. We had one of our members who gemmed Town Hall 11, so you get to see that as well. Now, some of these replays you can see I can't show you because they were done right during the update, and we have Kip, who 2-starred their number 1 very early, Disaster 2-starred their number 2 very early, Disaster 2-starred their number 3, and I'll just show you what we typically do for a 2-star. So you see this is a 7 golem attack, which is a pretty standard attack. You use lots of jumps. That first jump is really beautiful. Perfect placement. That third jump is also really beautiful. So I'll speed this up a bit. People have seen lots of 7 golems. 2 stars are not all that exciting, but they are very difficult to execute properly. Now, an earthquake, just for percentage, this is something we're seeing quite a bit more in the Town Hall 10 meta. See the golems create a funnel, head straight toward that Town Hall. The idea is that by the time you take out the Town Hall, you have about 50% of the base down. In this case, 49%, but it's a very simple matter to use this Archer Queen to take out another building, although she is beating on that Hound. So we're going to need to take out that Hound, and then we can proceed with clearing buildings. Now, you'll note that in this war, whenever you have a chance of tying, percentage is very important. One thing that Disaster doesn't do, because we thought we were going to come behind this and do a 3-star attempt, is he doesn't bring any percentage minions or percentage archers. If he would have, it would have upped the percentage to closer to 60%, which in a tie, every percentage counts, but for our purposes, this was just fine. Actually would have been closer to 63%. Very solid attack. Mingo, another 2-star attack. This is very different though. We have dragons and we have lightning. So with lightning spells and earthquakes, it's quite possible obviously to take out 2 air defenses. And with this being the case, this being the current meta, it's difficult, if not impossible, for a Town Hall 10 to defend against this kind of attack for 2 stars. I think you're going to see this become quite common, just as common as the 5, 6, 7 golem attacks. Because if you look, you know, there's the air defense, which is looned. He hasn't even used his heroes yet. Excuse me, his Barbarian King is contributing, as is his Archer Queen, but on the front lines essentially are his dragons. And yes, his kill squad dies right when he achieves the 50%, but on a base like this, that attack is pretty much impossible to defend. Okay, number 5, this is Stingray attacking. Now, I actually attacked this as a Town Hall 9 and one-starred it. It was like a 55% one-star. The Town Hall was about half health. I was pretty disappointed with that. And then Sorok came behind me and you got a 70-something% 2-star. Sting tweaked both of our strats and came along here and did something very impressive. So he's going to start with an AQ walk. This is something that I did and Sorok did, and we all kind of started in different spots, and we had to figure out some things as we go. But you see he drops a wizard to create to path that queen where he wants her to go. That wizard also gets a couple of extra %, which is always nice. Now, with the, it's always been the case for AQ walks at Town Hall 10, but particularly with the change to the way healers operate, you really get diminishing returns for using more than, say, 3 or 4 healers. So instead, you have to use rages. Now, on my AQ walk, I actually use 2 rages, and I use one for my kill squad to take out the Town Hall, but didn't quite succeed. Earthquake's also very popular to get into a base. You see it creates a very nice funnel. Now, drops a whole bunch of witches. Looks like 6 witches. Rage is amazing on those skeletons. The movement speed gets them out from underneath the dragons and loons. It also gets them into the infernos quicker, and you definitely want the infernos targeting those skeletons. And now he drops some pocket hogs here. So he's got a jump to get his kill squad out of that core, very clever. And then he's got 1 heal on his hogs to keep him at as high a health as possible. And you see he's already dropped what little cleanup he can afford in this composition. So hogs are still under heal. And right now there are just a few point defenses that can stop them. Now the hogs get pretty much cleaned up by this giant bomb, but they are able to take out 2 more point defenses, so their work is done. The golems are still tanking, and they set off another giant bomb, which is lovely. Golems are still tanking. The Archer Queen's still alive. You notice she's beating on a wall. She's not going to get to these point defenses before the golems fall, which is a little unfortunate. So she tanks that tower, the Archer Tower, but she still has her ability, being very patient with it. And then at the last moment, he pops it. It's going to take out 2 of the 3 point defenses. And what is really, really nice about this is his queen stays out of range of that cannon. Now, he would have 3-starred even if that cannon was hitting his queen and killed it, because with this many witches, you know, notice not a single witch has died here. They're producing tons and tons of skeletons, and in a very short matter of time, they finish up this base. Beautiful 3-star. Really well done taking the information from her first 2 scouts and turning it into a 3. Okay, next attack. This is DTT, one of our lowest Town Hall 9s for this, and he's doing a 2-star attack on a Town Hall of 10. In a ward that's going to be close like this, you use Town Hall 9s to 2-star Town Hall 10s that have anti-3 bases for a couple of reasons. One, you do it so that you can free up Town Hall 10s for triple attempts after just without wasting an attack on scouting. And 2, in case you can't spare Town Hall 10 attacks, you can sit on this 2-star and devote your Town Hall 10 attacks to things like nukes. Now, we nuked fairly heavily in this war. So golems are dropped just to tank for wizards as you pick up percentage. Notice he's taken out as many exterior buildings as possible. And he has pretty low-level heroes. I should note that in this war, Rising Honor out-leveled us with heroes by well over 200 total levels, and their base weights were probably 70 to 80K combined higher than ours. So the matchup from many perspectives was less than ideal, but you know, you take what you get and do the best you can with it, and we certainly did here. Giants are in there to tank an Inferno Tower, or just point defenses. And Giants are also nice because they do quite a bit of damage themselves, so they can actually take out point defenses fairly readily. Here they're tanking an Archer Tower and a Wizard Tower. Not ideal, but you see he's already got 50+%. He's already got the Town Hall down. He's going to go ahead and use his Archer Queen ability to break that Inferno lock, and then try to take out a few more buildings with a couple of more percentage minions here. See, that multi-Inferno doesn't actually do much damage to the Archer Queen. She almost takes it down, or she does actually. And 60% 2-star for a low Town Hall 8 is extremely impressive. So that was certainly very helpful. Okay, here's Junie 3-starring their number 7 using the Grand Warden. So you know he's going to start with an AQ walk. This is becoming more popular with the 30 seconds added to the timer. We actually waited until after the update for most of our attacks. We did that for 2 reasons. First, it's nice to have the extra 30 seconds. But second, we didn't want to lose our replays. In a close war like this, you really need that scouting. So what we did is, if we attacked the base early, we went ahead and screenshotted our attack, and we used software to add in the point defenses, like the Teslas and the traps and the bombs and everything, and that really helped our cleanup efforts later on. So the AQ walk is proceeding just fine down the northwest side of the base. Now he drops golems on the southwest side of the base. He's going to go ahead and break away in, drop some P.E.K.K.A.s, which are funneled directly toward the core. And there's the Grand Warden. I'm going to zoom in on him. Archer Queen's tanking 1 point defense. Rage is great for P.E.K.K.A.s, but the wizards get it as well. And that many rage wizards just melt things. All right, so Grand Warden ability is coming up soon. There it is right there. Makes everything immune for just a few seconds, just giving the kill squad time to get some damage in on that Inferno Tower. He's already got his hogs dropped. He had CC hogs as well, so a total of about 13 hogs. Goes in, drops a heal. Very smart. There was a giant bomb there. Loses some to spring traps, but it's okay. He's going to go ahead and drop a second heal. And these hogs are going to take down the majority of the remainder of these point defenses. Very important when your heroes are stuck in the core. Obviously the Archer Queen can damage them, but hogs take out everything and now proceed to clean up. And then down south you have a cleanup golem. Who knew? So this is the first time Reddit Omega members ever use the Grand Warden, and we don't see too many attacks with him. The way Junie's chosen to use him is on the core kill, and to use his ability to negate some of that Inferno Tower damage. I'm sure we'll see more uses for him in the future, but pretty attack. Okay, number 8. You see Juniab almost got a 3-star here. It was a 2, 97%. This would have put us a little closer. And it's a similar sort of strategy. No AQ walk, but we've got hogs, and we're going to golem one side and create a large funnel, then break away in and drop our heroes on a core kill. So delayed king drop, delayed queen drop, and then Warden goes in last. He is very squishy. You certainly don't want him taking much damage, but fortunately he has a long range, so he doesn't get up close and personal like the Barbarian King does. Goes in and pops his ability now. The Inferno Tower that negates damage and resets it on the Inferno Tower, which is nice, goes ahead and starts his hogging. Similar to last time, his hogs are kind of skirting his kill squad. Notice one giant bomb explodes. Probably could have used a heal earlier here. Got a little greedy and lost 3 or 4 hogs. And you see he's got a heal placed in another spot where he wants to tank a bomb and take out plenty of defenses. Okay, so his Archer Queen is going to take out this Inferno. His Grand Warden died very quickly, just to skeletons and an Inferno. Now he's got a 3rd heal for his hogs, but he doesn't have many left, and he's got a Skellies beating on them. So they're not going to be able to take down all the point defenses, unlike the last raid. Goes in and pops his Archer Queen ability to take out 1, 2 point defenses very quickly. And now he's got those hogs. Are they going to take out the remaining building? Yes, because a Tesla locks onto a Golemite. So all of the buildings, all the defenses are down. But he doesn't have much cleanup. You see he has Golemites, couple of archers, 1 hog, and his Archer Queen. And I'll show you why he does not quite succeed. Okay, Archer Queen hitting a wall. Watch this. 1 more hit. Nope, turns to hit a new wall. Had she broken through that wall and skirted around the outside of the base, this is a 3. Instead, she's beating on a wall, and just in time to take out a builder hut and beat on another wall. And by the time she breaks through that wall, she only has 2 buildings to hit. Now she's got to go all the way around, take out a builder hut, and can't beat on another wall. So if he had had 1 cleanup troop, like a wizard or even a minion, even a couple more archers, or if the queen would have gone the right way, that would have been 3. So very, very close. That said, he was bullying a Town Hall 9 or Town Hall 10 as a Town Hall 11. Okay, this is a nuke. We designate the top Town Hall 9s as just a nuke zone, and we try to fresh 3 them with a Town Hall 10. And sometimes, you know, nukes don't always fresh 3, and in this case, LAC certainly does, is very solid. So he has essentially a stoned Goho, but with the additional troop space, he has extra giants. Heroes path into the Archer Queen, take her out quite easily. King is very beefy. Queen is taking out this Hound. Goes ahead and places a jump spell that's going to try to get his kill squad further into the base to set off more giant bombs, do more damage, take out point defenses, take out storages, to help path his hogs a little better. And now that he has the pups pretty much down, he's going to go ahead and start his hogging. Could have started the hogging a little bit earlier, maybe to take out this backside archer tower, but that's okay. You notice he set off a double giant bomb with his golems. That's really nice. It prevents those hogs from having to do it. And you'll note that his heal spacing sets up very well. Could have dropped a poison on these skeletons. That would have been nice to see. Drops it there. And with this many hogs and both heroes alive and cleanup wizards and even giants contributing, this is a straightforward cleanup from here. So yes, a nuke, but anytime a Town Hall 9 is not an automatic 3. And closing out a base on the first attack is super important. Town Hall, this was Jamada, who bullied and nuked a Town Hall 9 as well. We don't have that replay. Next, Apex. Now, we had a Town Hall 10 nuke, which did not work on this base, and then I tried to come behind it and clean it up, and I did not succeed. And I owe Apex a beer now because he rocked this base. So let me show you how. We knew where the giant bombs were. There's one right over here between the Expo and the Archer Tower. There's 2 here. and then there's one over here. And normally you would try to make your kill squad take out one of those or a couple of those giant bombs. Apex just drops his kill squad straight at the Archer Queen. Doesn't even bother luring the Hound. Doesn't even do the healer archer trick. Doesn't use a rage. Can't really fit it. Instead, he just powers through this base with lots of wizards. So wizards make short work of that Hound. Barbarian King uses his ability just to push more damage. Now his Archer Queen's still at full health. And he starts his hogging. Perfect shaping for his hogging. He's going to avoid this double giant bomb in the middle because the hogs have no reason to path past that air defense now. It also, the way he passes his hogs, sets up very well for a heal. First heal you can tell is going to go right there, and it's going to heal lots and lots of things. Heals the skeletons, heals the Barbarian King. There's a poison to take out the skeletons, very nice. And the second heal is still in this pocket, and he drops it right where he needs to heal those hogs up and keep them alive as they kite those skeletons. So 4-point defenses remaining. Going to be close to get the hogs to get them all, but you note that he has cleanup on every side of the base. And his Archer Queen's still almost at full health. So the two hogs do die, but something you don't see very often, the archers actually finish up this cannon. Boom. And from there, there's just 3 or 4 more buildings remaining. And the wizards are going all after him, and the queen's going after the other one. So very straightforward. Made it look pretty easy, but I can tell you from personal experience that was not an easy base. Okay, next is another bully attack. So Lakatos had perfect nuking on Town Hall 9s. So he had 6 stars, all of them fresh, very important. So he creates, it's not even a funnel when you take out a whole side of the base. But he goes ahead and wall breaks into this big compartment, which sets up really nicely for his kill squad and penetration of the base. Goes ahead and earthquakes his way in the remainder of the base. That opens up the Archer Queen. And there's his Barbarian King. Now we see why he took out one whole side of the base, so he could delay his Archer King. Also, it's kind of, I didn't have time to point it out, but his poison, his level 4 poison did wonders on that Max Dragon. I think that's something we're going to see more of in the meta. Now that we can donate level 4 poison spells at Town Hall 9, dragons in the CC are not going to be as effective because poison, I think, takes them out entirely. If it doesn't kill them entirely, it certainly comes very, very close, where they just need to get sneezed on by an Archer Queen or a wizard, and they will die. We're certainly going to see a lot of donated earthquake spells to break ways into bases and to take out 2 air defenses. But I think that it's interesting to note also the level 4 poison available to Town Hall 9. Both heroes alive, tons and tons of loons. Still has his Barbarian King ability. Uses it there and cruises his way through the remainder of the base. Archer Queen almost died. Not quite. Okay, next is Yankee. Now Yankee was MVP of this war. He had 2 3-star attacks fresh on people way above his war weight, a 73k and a 74k, and I think Yankee's like a 68, 69k. Really out of his mind performance. So this one you can see time-wise is a little close, but he's going to use that donated earthquake to open up that base. Do a stoned Goho. He's maximizing the amount of hogs he can take. Whenever you do a stoned, the maximum amount of hogs you can conceivably take is pretty much 24. That's what he's taking. Now he's being very patient in his deployment. His golems are tanking very well for his hogs that he currently has. You notice he hasn't set off any giant bombs yet, but he still has his Archer Queen ability, and he still has a ton of hogs. So he's going to send them in and try to get some of them to suicide and do giant bombs, if he can. And you note he's only running one heal spell here. Okay, so there's one giant bomb, and then there's a double giant bomb. So he didn't need to drop his heal spell there. Obviously, it only catches one hog, which is not ideal, but we're going to give him a pass on that because the remainder of the raid is absolutely solid. So there's another double giant bomb. He is requiring his few remaining hogs to try to take out quite a bit, but mortars don't do anything to hogs, neither do air defenses. So it's just a matter of cleanup here. And the cleanup does take a little while because he doesn't have a lot of cleanup troops and he hasn't dropped those 2 archers yet, which he could be doing. But he's probably really busy at this point, sighing in disbelief at how well this raid worked. So we'll give him a pass. Perfection. Here's Kulopotamus, Copa. He's cleaning up a Town Hall 9. You remember from the last video I said he's basically the best cleanup Town Hall 9 we have. Very, very solid. Going to show it here with the Shattered Goho. This base had been scouted. So he's going to drop those golems on that external cannon. One of the reasons people drop an external cannon is to mess up funneling, and by messing up the golem spread, but he doesn't let it bother him. His wall breakers didn't break into the compartment that he wanted, but he's not going to let that bother him either. He's going to go ahead and start his hogging and poison immediately on those skeletons. What a nice touch. Spawn that CC on the hound, that CC is on the hogs, and hogs can tank a hound all day. And you notice that keeps the queen from bothering herself with the hound, which is really a nice touch. Now that that hog dies, the hound will turn its attention to other troops, but his queen has done her job. They have gotten to the opposing archer queen, taking it out, and he's going ahead and hogging in kind of a wall fashion. He goes ahead and drops 2 heals early. He's got 1 other heal to go. Fortunately, the golem is tanking several point defenses right now, so his archer queen stays alive. Does trigger 1 giant bomb, but he's got another heal, you see. And he drops it right on top of that last point defense. And uses his last poison, why not, on that last pup. So with plenty of hogs left, and with his archer queen still alive, and with wizards working on high hit point parts of the base, this is an easy cleanup. Giant bomb's completely irrelevant. Okay, here's Yankee Stom on his second fresh 3-star. So he goes ahead and he uses earthquakes to open up this base. Makes a lot of sense. He opens up many compartments with those earthquake spells. Even opens up the Barbarian King compartment by getting that corner post. Goes in and drops some golems. You notice it's a stone goho. They all path toward that exposed Tesla, which he didn't know was there because this was a fresh attack. But he sticks it out. Wall breaks his way into that archer queen. Golems are going to oblige. He's got wizards taking out these high hit point buildings. Queen is going to do a significant amount of damage to these golems, but one of the advantages of a stone goho is that they survive that sort of thing. Drops a rage, which hits the king, speeds him up into the archer queen, and most importantly hits these wizards and this archer queen. That really helps to take out a hound quickly, which is important to keep your queen mostly connected to your king. Otherwise, the queen can fall really far behind and won't take out the point defenses that are beating on the king, and he'll fall. But you notice he's still alive and at quite high health and still has his ability. Now he's going to proceed with his hogging quite carefully because it's unclear where the giant bombs are. So trickling some hogs in from several sides at once. Notice he only has one heal spell, so he's got to make it count. Goes ahead and uses both hero abilities. They're both alive, so they're helping take out point defenses here and to tank. And everything is converging in one spot of the base, which is always a good sign. The Archer Queen is taking out this Barbarian King. For some reason that I don't quite understand, if an Archer Queen shoots at a moving target, she damages it. If a Wizard shoots at a moving target, he does not damage it. So you definitely want that Archer Queen hitting a moving Barbarian King as opposed to a Wizard. The Wizard will never kill a moving Barbarian King. And it's all over but the cleanup. So just a great war from Yankee. Frodo Baggins. Frodo used to do our recaps till life got really, really busy with school. And not only is he good at being on the microphone side of the recaps, he's also really good at being on the attack side of the recaps. So here he is doing another Stone Goho. Now, you may be looking at this and go, well, that's a lot of Stone Gohos. Stone Gohos on these spread anti-3 bases tends to be one of the most powerful compositions. Obviously, other things are viable, you know, max attacks and Laloon attacks, but Stone Gohos are advantageous in that they are better scouts. So you find more traps with a Stone Goho than you do with a Laloon, and that can be really valuable. And a lot of our players are just more comfortable with hogging. I certainly am. So great use of jump spells to get his Barbarian King into the opposing Archer Queen. He's gone ahead and dropped all of his hogs. I really like this. I like when you drop most all of your hogs at the very beginning, because they are very momentum based and you want to benefit from the tanking that comes from golems while those golems are still alive. He only had one heal spell, but that's all he needed. He does have a skeleton trap spawn, and he takes that pocket poison that he had and drops it right on them. Gonna weaken them up. And then he's got backside cleanup in the form of wizards. And then he has his hogs taking out these high hit point buildings on the north of the base, and still has his Archer Queen contributing, although she's run out of targets. And as Frodo would say, and it's just all over. Tito attacking their number 17. Now you'll note their number 17 has 28-27 heroes. So even they had max heroes and really high level heroes all the way through. Omega, one thing we pride ourselves on is having high level heroes and really developed walls. We ran into another clan that has the same approach, just takes it to a whole nother level. So he jumps his way into the Archer Queen. This is a very wise choice. Wall breakers are a little suspicious because of the way the walls are formed and because of the placement of that wizard tower. And the Archer Queen is going to jump out into that compartment which the jump covers, so you know that it's a safe path to her. Now he's going to go ahead and start his hogging. You can see his hogs are going to group up very nicely for a heal spell, so he goes ahead and drops it on that first wizard tower. And in front of that very high hit point Expo. You have to tank an Expo for quite a while because of its hit points, so it makes sense to heal in front of one. And he's going to go ahead and groups his hogs up. He sent in some suicide hogs into the double giant bomb location. Very nice. Spring traps thin him out a bit, but it doesn't matter. He's got one other heal, which he drops right in the middle of all these remaining point defenses. There's not a single point defense that he's going to attack where he's not being healed through it. Archer Queen ability at the very end. Poison at the very end. Now, cleanup is a little lengthy. He only has 2 wizards up top taking out all those buildings along with his hogs. But with the queen still alive, she's going to contribute somewhat. And so it ends. Here's Coolopotamus with another cleanup attack on a Town Hall 9. Shattered Goho, but he's got a couple of loons in the mix. It's going to be interesting to see how he uses those. Starts with a couple of minions. These minions are there to help create a funnel. When nothing can hit the minions, why not start with the minions? They're also going to take out a couple of buildings. And unanticipated, they spawn some skeleton traps. So he spawned the clan castle. He's got a jump set up to go straight into that Archer Queen. Sets off 1 giant bomb. Archer Queen's down. He's going to drop 2 loons. Now we see why. They're going to take out these 2 defenses, or at least they would, but there was a mine there. And unfortunately, the Expo swings over to beat on them. And those air skeletons were there too. But the idea was nice. That air mine, incidentally, was probably placed there to prevent a dragon from having easy access to the offset Archer Queen. We're seeing that more and more often in the meta. But when you can blanket the base with heals like this, it doesn't matter. Now, he actually had a haste spell, which is kind of cool. Speeds up those hogs. And he's got 1 more cleanup wizard. He's got to figure out where to drop it. Hopefully this queen will take out these pups. Had to use the cloak to get her to stop targeting the wall to do it, but well worth it. And the opposing Barbarian King's still up. But while he's running over to the Archer Queen, the hogs are going to come over and kill him. Now, he did take out the Archer Queen, but it doesn't matter because now the hogs are completely unchecked. All right, Dylan is attacking with a Stone Goho and Earthquake. Got a couple minions in the mix as well. So that Earthquake misses a little bit. He would have liked to have gotten into the Queen compartment. It was off. But whenever you have a setback like this, the question is, how do you persevere through it? So he delays that CC Golem until the external defense is down so that it doesn't go to that external defense. It instead goes and tanks at the wall breach, which is important. Now he's dropped his heroes. Got them funneled in perfectly. It's 2 poisons, so you're definitely going to use 1 on the CC. He should have used the level 4 poison, however. Should have used the donated one. Going back to what I was saying, it would do a little more damage to the dragon, and it would slow it down a bit more as well. Now, his Barbarian King does die while taking out the opposing Barbarian King, but as you might anticipate, his Queen is going to come in and save the day. So Queen's going to take out that Expo, start shooting the clan castle, and then realize that there's a better target to hit, and take out that Archer Queen. Now his hogs are doing a very good job of eliminating defenses which could be hitting the Queen, and the Queen's doing a very good job of helping the hogs clear out some defenses. So that's good synergy between the two of them. He could go ahead and start dropping some cleanup troops north. That would speed this rate up a little bit. Hogs are tanking that Expo, and heel is perfectly placed. There's his cleanup north. Still has the AQ ability. That's just going to be used for cleanup. To get through that wall quicker in this case. And we've got a wizard and a minion one way, hogs going the other, and they're racing toward the middle there. And why not swag poison at the end? All right, Pugas on the number 20. Now, Pugas has proven me a little wrong. I said with a Stone Goho, you typically only take maximum of 24 hogs. He's going to go with 25. I should also note that Pugas has done a really good job recently of working on his hero levels. Having a level 30 BK and a near max for Town Hall Archer Queen really helps with your war performance. So creating a wide funnel drops a delayed golem right into that breach. Still hasn't dropped his Barbarian King yet, and needs to drop it soon so that it'll path properly in, so he does so. Before that Dark Elixir storage died. If that Dark Elixir storage had been taken out, his king would not have taken that funnel. Now this is a completely poisonable CC, so he does poison it, and notice he uses his level 4 poison. And he's going to jump into the Archer Queen. The Barbarian King doesn't detect her yet, but now he has nowhere else to go than that compartment. Now the Archer Queen says hello. BK rages toward the end. Very nice to get those barbarians that he spawns in on her. Going to drop a couple of hogs to support his kill squad. A couple more hogs trickle in just to support the kill squad. Archer Queen is helping out, taking out buildings. And you'll note these hogs are going to take down those point defenses right before they could take out the Archer Queen. Very important for a cleanup perspective. Now he's being very patient with hogs. Why? Because he wanted to suicide them into a double giant bomb, and he still has 17 hogs left with no giant bombs to oppose him, and he has 2 heals. So he's going to go ahead and drop a heal on this Tesla bank. Wise idea. And he's also going to drop a poison ahead of his hogs. Also, very wise idea. They get thinned out a little bit with springs, being very patient with this last heal. And the last heal drops perfectly. 4 of those remaining 5 point defenses were covered by that heal spell. And the one that is not covered is the last one the hogs are going to hit, so they're going to come out of that heal at full health and take out that remaining archer tower. Notice cleanup on both sides of the remaining buildings. AQ is up north, hogs and wizards down south. Also has a goblin in the mix. Whenever you have one empty troop space in your composition, and you have external storages or external collectors, goblins make a lot of sense. And in a very short time, the base is cleared. Okay, Bootchalk, one of our top Town Hall 9s, is cleaning up a lower level Town Hall 9, but he's doing it with a very interesting composition. Golems, Valks, and a Laloon. So he's going to create a wide funnel. Obviously, whenever you have Valkyries, you need a wide funnel. Breaks into that compartment, that weirdly shaped compartment. We've seen that weirdly shaped compartment in a couple of bases already. They seem to use it quite often in their meta, and we found that it was a nice way to break in and path your kill squad into a core. So Valks go right through that double giant bomb. Remember, one of the advantages to Valks over other elements of the kill squad is they will live through giant bombs, and under heal they tank point defenses quite well. They're going to go in and start working on that opposing Barbarian King, And now he's going to start his La Lune. If we look at this base, there is exactly one air defense left. Yes, there are a couple of point defenses that can shoot up, but he's going to haste his loons directly into that air defense. And mine or no mines, those hounds are going to stay tanking. Now he also gets his hound over here on the, goes over onto the Teslas, doesn't quite tank those Teslas, and you see he's running into an air sweeper. Those hounds do grab a couple of mines on the way. That's really nice. Drops his last haste on top of that air sweeper. Very wise. And with his Archer Queen still alive and converging, and even a Valkyrie and some pups, this is going to be a very quick cleanup. Really, really creative attack. And the earthquake usage was a really nice way to compromise the design of that base. Okay, here's Cam cleaning up a kind of his mirror actually, and he's doing it with the Healer Archer trick on a CC Hound. So this base had been scouted. Drops a couple of hogs just to take out 1 point defense and to pull out that hound, and then we're going to have 2 archers with a healer. This works unless your hogs trip a skeleton trap on the pull. That happened to me in one of my attacks. I was very sad. And now he's going to drop his golems north. Wizards to create a funnel. Notice no wall breakers. He's simply going to jump straight into that Archer Queen. Delayed hero drops, and you notice his hero levels are much lower than his target. He has a Barbarian King level 10 against a level 30. He has an Archer Queen level 13 against a level 30. So they had max heroes on their number 22 of number 25, or 22 of 25. Doesn't matter though. With Rage and Golems tanking, it doesn't really matter what level your heroes are. You notice he hasn't even used his hero abilities yet, but he will soon on his Barbarian King if he wants to keep it alive. I'll miss that in the scrum here, but that's okay. Drops a wizard behind his hogs to start the cleanup early. Very wise. Could go ahead and drop those goblins as well. Has a poison that he could use on those skeletons. Drops it there, and they mostly die. And with an Archer Queen alive, it is a certain cleanup. Let's see if he does it without spawning that hound. Spawns right at the end, but complete non-factor. Okay, a few more. Green men cleaning up their number 23. Again, green men, you can see his heroes are close to half the level of his target. But with a good strat, it doesn't matter. He's also using the Healer Archer trick. It may become so much a part of the meta to put a hound in the CC, particularly with the donated level 4 poison, that on fresh attacks, you just bring a healer and 2 archers just in case. At least if you're planning on luring the CC. There are a couple of times where we've been matched up against opposing clans, and if I've seen hounds in most of their CCs, then I've just brought those troops as a prophylactic measure. And then when they don't have a hound in the CC, you feel a little bit silly, but that's okay. So Cam is hogging, or sorry, Green Man is hogging everything. Hogs are coming in from every direction, and he's deployed a couple of heals to keep as many alive as possible, and he still has one more heal spell left, which he's going to use in that last cluster of point defenses. And it takes down a giant bomb as well. He's got poisons where no matter where the skeletons go, they're going to die. Slows down that Barbarian King as well. And you'll note that he still has his Archer Queen alive, a common theme of these attacks. The cleanup takes a little bit of time because there are quite a few buildings and they're quite spread. Finally, that hound popped a little bit earlier for him than it did for Cam, but his Archer Queen and wizards that he has remaining and those archers make short work of them. Then they got to run all the way up to the top for this builder hut. It's really nice to see, though, that your low to mid Town Hall 9s can clear their opposing Town Hall 9s, even if those Town Hall 9s have a much higher war weight or higher hero levels. That sort of execution is really crucial when you're trying to beat a really good clan, because you know that they're going to. So you'll note from U-Tiger's composition here, he's going to use his donated Earthquake spell to take out 2 air defenses. So 2 air defenses completely down. No spells remaining, but he has a big Laloon attack coming. CC Golem. Now this is going to aim to take out the Archer Queen and to take out one of the remaining air defenses, if possible. If not, not a big deal when you have that many hounds. Now his Wallbreaker deployment missed the mark, but he had an extra one to come in and open up that compartment. The Queen obliged him and jumped into that compartment for his Barbarian King to address. And then he takes out the 3rd air defense, and his Queen is going to do wonders on this CC. You note the Queen does not have poison here. So it is possible that that you have to use a cloak to take out the opposing dragon, because you don't have your you don't have poison to weaken it. And then he's going to go ahead and drop hounds just across this base from all directions. This is just to vacuum up as many possible traps as possible. You see that it grabs 2 mines, 2 bombs, 1 hound is dead, but it doesn't matter. These loons are going to take a while to getting to the air defense, and they have a sweeper blowing them away. But that's actually a good thing, because it means that these hounds are going to soak more damage and have a better chance of popping. See, both of them are really low. Unfortunately, neither of them has popped yet. Maybe they'll find an errant bomb on their way across the base. Archer Tower spawns 1. Great. He's got a cleanup wizard. I love the use of cleanup wizards in Laloon attacks. I feel that the loons are so slow that some wizards on the side of the base opposite where the loons are going make a lot of sense. Nice little hounds pop on that on the very end there, picking up 2 bombs in the process. And nothing to oppose his loons. Last attack is Show Me, attacking their number 25. If you've stuck through us this long, I admire your patience or your devotion to the game. Show Me sends in a Sacrificial Hog to get a CC spawn, gets his Hound lured out, and he's going to go ahead and drop his 2 archers and a healer. And then he's going to start with a Shattered Goho from the northeast. Now, whenever you use the healer archer trick, it usually prevents you from using a stone Goho. But then again, you're tanking far less with your golems, because normally you're tanking the CC with your golems, but this isn't the case. Times those wall breakers perfectly so that the mortar doesn't hit them. And delayed hero drops, jumping right into that core compartment, where he will incidentally get the Archer Queen. Nullifies 1 Skelly Trap, drops a poison there. That wasn't necessary, probably could have saved the poison for the 2nd Skelly Trap and for the Archer Queen, but that's okay. Gets a double giant bomb, and you'll note the queen does not jump out. That's not quite optimal, and she is a very high DPS point defense against that hog attack. But what he does is he uses his Archer Queen ability, drops a poison on that opposing Archer Queen to slow her way down, and essentially tanks through it. Finally, his Archer Queen wises up and takes her out. And because his hogs were under heal for such a long time, and because he was able to navigate them around all of the giant bombs, he has quite a few still remaining for cleanup. Wizards on the high hit point storages. Hound doesn't even have a chance to pop. So all in all, they had the winning side. They had more Town Hall 10 triples, perhaps fair play, perhaps not. But as I mentioned, this is the best war we've ever lost. Our performance here far exceeded our expectations and matched what we thought would be about the best we could possibly do. We thought if we tripled 2 of their Town Hall 10s and cleared all their Town Hall 9s, then by any measure it would be a success. Well, we did that, and we almost tripled the 3rd Town Hall 10. So overall, a very, very strong war effort. Really proud of all the work, and that's why we're taking the amount of time we did to show all the attacks. So appreciate your patience. Hope you'll tune in next time when I promise we will do a shorter recap.